The first ever known instance of projecting images onto a larger surface can be traced back to 1420, when it was first recorded in a drawing by Johannes de Fonte. Later, Leonardo da Vinci drew a similar device known as a magic lantern in 1515. In the late 1800s, these magic lanterns were adopted by photographers, lecturers, and the general public and renamed opaque projectors. These opaque projectors used incandescent light bulbs with halogen lamps and were often used as teaching tools as they are today. Chicago's public school system had around 8,000 opaque projectors by the end of World War I. Opaque projectors were then replaced by overhead projectors, which were used frequently to train soldiers with presentations during World War II. Overhead projectors were relied on to share information in schools, businesses, and police departments through the 1950s and 1960s. The LCD projector was invented in 1984 by Gene Dolgoff. Dolgoff wanted to produce a video projector that would be brighter than the available projectors. He decided to use liquid crystals in 1971 and successfully built a liquid crystal display in 1984. LCD stands for liquid crystal display. These are thinner, lighter, and draw less power than the traditional cathode ray tubes. Liquid crystals are neither fully solid or liquid. Their molecules tend to maintain their orientation, but can also move around to different positions, demonstrating properties of both liquids and solids. The liquid crystals in LCDs have a naturally twisted orientation, and applying an electric current untwists them because they untwist in a predictable way that can be used in displays to control light passage. An LCD uses two sheets of polarized glass. Grooves are put into the glass in the same direction as polarization. A coating of liquid crystals is added, which will align with the polarization due to the grooves in the glass. Polarization must be at a right angle to the original. The liquid crystal molecule will twist, and the uppermost layer will be at a 90-degree angle to the bottom, which matches the polarization. Polarizers allow light of only a certain orientation through, so when two polarizers are in the same orientation, light is able to pass through both. However, if the polarizers are perpendicular to each other, no light will be able to pass through both filters, so it appears dark. LCDs take advantage of polarized light to display images. Light is polarized when it strikes the first filter. As the light passes through the liquid crystal, the light's plane of vibration changes and should match the second polarizer by the end, so the light will pass through. However, when an electric current is applied to the liquid crystal, it untwists, so it will no longer match the two polarizing filters and no light will pass through. LCDs require an external light source, and LCDs that show color must have 3 subpixels, and through control of the voltage applied, can display up to 256 shades in each subpixel, which means they can show up to 16.8 million colors. In order for LCD projectors to work, first you need a beam of light from an external light source. Then the light bounces off 2 dichroic mirrors coated in film that only reflect certain colors of light, and you get 3 beams of light, red, green, and blue. Light beams pass through an LCD made of thousands of pixels, and based on current, which we described previously, light either passes through or does not for each pixel. Then the light passes through 3 screens, again red, green, or blue. 3 colors of the same scene will pass through a dichroic prism to form a single image of millions of colors. Finally, this light passes through a lens to be projected onto a screen.
The LCD itself is a plane with an array of little pixels on it, like that. And each pixel can transmit a different amount of light depending upon how it's stimulated. So behind the LCD, there's some kind of a light source that illuminates the back of the LCD. So this particular pixel right here might be lit up more than the other pixels. In order to get the image that forms on the LCD onto the screen, you use a projection lens. A projection lens is, you could simplify it anyway, as if it were one converging lens. And this converging lens has a nice property that if you send light from this pixel right through the center of the lens, it goes right through, just like that. So out here you've got a screen, and this light ray from that one lit up pixel goes right through the center of the lens, and it lands on the screen right there and paints a little picture of the pixel right there. But of course, this pixel doesn't just radiate that one ray. It's radiating rays in all directions. So for instance, there's one that goes up to that part of the lens. The nice thing about this lens is that it has the property that it will bend this ray so that it will converge right to the same place on the screen that the ray that went through the center of the lens did. So here's another one, and it goes right through the lens and onto that same pixel. Here's another one. It bends this way and ends up right on that pixel. Here's another one. It goes this way and ends up right on that pixel. This other pixel will be painted right there. This one will be painted, let's see, this one will be painted up here, and so forth, until you fill the entire screen with an image of all the pixels on your LCD screen.
LCDs use converging lenses similar to a magnifying glass, which can focus the light onto a distant surface. Thomas Edison once predicted that thanks to the invention of projected images, books will soon be obsolete in schools. Scholars will soon be instructed through the eye. A 2002 survey of 500 educators and media specialists revealed just how high the demand for video projectors is in the classroom, as nearly 70% of the respondents indicated that they use multimedia projectors. Aside from this, they are used for a variety of purposes such as business presentations, home theaters, and making the world more beautiful.